And this is just a note on gender. Here I've argued that underneath massive shifts in the global economy, okay, that's number one, as accompanied by market intensification of inequalities of income and wealth and intensified stratification of the U.S. post-secondary sector, privileged families mobilize every single bit of cultural, social, and economic capital to carve out distinction with respect to the college admissions process. This is engaged with an eye toward new and/or continued privilege for their children via admission to particularly located post-secondary destinations. Key fact here, okay? This new upper middle class, this is what we call it. This new upper middle class is most definitely not going to be all white. It is going to be very diverse. I am not saying that there's lots and lots of poor people in there and historically located underrepresented minorities. There will be some, but it's also not going to be all white, and that's also very complicated. Although the social and economic terrain has changed for everyone in the States, a particularly located slice of the historically forged, broad-based middle class, which was together in something, is activating any and all intellectual, economic, and personal capitals to lay the groundwork for the construction of what will arguably be a new upper middle class of the 21st century. The particular role that gender plays in such class construction is worthy of comment. I'm going to just make a real quick statement on this. This question of gender should span lots and lots of studies. This is really something. I'm not saying women weren't responsible for schooling, and yes, okay, but this is something new. This is taking a new shape and form. Although largely uninvited and in fact denigrated by the school, I heard lots of things about this, the self-embraced, what we call classwork, chronicled here in relation to the post-secondary admissions process in privileged secondary schools, not all private, is in fact largely mother work, comprised of a set of intellectual and practical actions and activities that often, although not uniformly, sit side by side high-level professional and managerial commitments among women. Although fathers certainly participate in this process and go on virtually all college visits that have been arranged by mothers, they generally script themselves as having to worry about paying for it, which is a big deal, okay? I do not dismiss that. Rather than taking full or even primary responsibility for all aspects of the intricate planning process. As such, the actual parental work involved in class warfare over post-secondary destinations is highly gendered, reminiscent of Ball and Vincent's work on middle-class women's role in child rearing. This particular moment of this deepening and reconfigured mother work, if you will, is highly ironic because women were locked out of these institutions for centuries, frankly, as were people of color, okay? And these people were locked out. These are the very people that are now inside trying to position both their sons and daughters for these top institutions as they're moving forward. And that admission to these schools cannot be assumed by anybody any longer. This is really, Harvard can fill its entrance class with perfect SAT scores. Some kids coming from particular groups have published articles at the end of high school, okay? What I'm arguing here is that the stark insertion of gender and gendered labor into new class processes and productions arguably and fundamentally alters the fulcrum of class struggle and class warfare as it takes shape and form in the current historic moment, where men comprise the center of class analysis historically and class struggle of the not too distant past via industrial workplace struggles and or the accumulation of management of economic capital. It's now women, via the kind of class positioning that we see here, who are now sitting at the dual epicenter of new class productions, formation, and outcomes. And I think this is going to set the stage for lots of important work that we all need to do to see exactly how these are playing out in different kinds of communities. Because what's happening at the top is also reverberating through the system in lots of really important ways. So thank you very much.